So you decided to do impromptu. Impromptu is one of my favorite events, hands down. And this video is going to talk to you about a couple of different things. First, how to effectively prep in impromptu. Second, how it's judged. And the third thing you're going to do is actually give a practice speech. Even if I'm not going to be watching it, it doesn't matter. The question is, can you make it through an impromptu speech? Can you prep it and can you speak for 3 minutes? All right, so before we really get into this, I need you to stop this video and print the impromptu handout. It's an outline that basically tells you how you should prep, and you can take it up there with you in the front of the room during competition to use it to speak off of. So it will help you more effectively prep. It will help you remember to have all the parts of the speech, and that will help you give a better speech. All right, so you should stop now and print that if you haven't already done so. You'll also need it to practice. Okay, so assuming now that you have printed this information, we're going to start with how you effectively prep. So look at the outline in front of you. I'm going to give you 6 steps to prep. Step number 1, pick out one of the quotes. You're going to get 3 quotes given to you on a little slip of paper. That little slip of paper is going to look like this. All right, and it's going to have 3 quotes. So it'll have your speaker, and then it'll have 3 quotes on it. Now, pick one of those quotes. Pick one that you can understand or that you're capable of interpreting the meaning of. Go with your gut instincts. Do not waste time hemming and hawing or being wishy-washy about the quotes. Pick one that you understand and go with it. Step number 2. Write a thesis sentence by interpreting the meaning of the quote. You can either agree or disagree with the quote, or you can take a position on what you think the quote means and whether or not that's good or bad. Those are really handy ways to write a thesis statement. Make sure that you can connect the quote to the thesis statement, because you have to state the quote word for word, right? So in this speech, when given the quote that radical changes in world politics leave America with a heightened responsibility to be for the world an example of a genuinely free, democratic, just, and humane society, right? When given that quote, here's what I think, and then you insert your thesis sentence. But you have to state the quote word for word before the thesis sentence. So it's important that you understand the quote. Step number 3, pick a speech pattern. Any speech pattern, but you need one for your main points. You have to have 3 main points. They have to be organized. Look, if your brain freezes and you can't think of anything else, go with past, present, and future. It's the number 1 impromptu go-to for when you cannot remember what you wanted to speak about. Right? But if your thesis sentence is a persuasion, right? Like let's say you said, oh, we should ban animal testing. Then pick a persuasive pattern, problem, cause, solution. All right, step number 4. Have at least 1 subpoint per main point. Subpoints should be examples, things that you know about: science, math, literature, TV shows, politics, music, celebrities, fables, stories, myths that you've heard of. All right, any of those things make for good subpoints. Step 5, think of an attention getter. How are you going to get the audience's attention? Tell a short little story related to your own personal life, or a story about somebody else in your family, maybe a story that you heard on the news. Maybe start with a joke, right? Start with a startling fact or statistic that you know. Start with a rhetorical question. Any of those things are fine. But think of an attention getter. Do not start with the quote. Start with the attention getter and then use the quote. Step number 6, be prepared to make some stuff up as you go along. Look, you only have 2 minutes to prepare, and then you have to speak for 3 to 5 minutes. That's how competition impromptu works. So, look, you might not get to fill out all of your subpoints, in which case you're going to have to make it up on the fly. But as long as you wrote in all of your main points, it's not quite as hard to make it up on the fly. Whatever you do, don't surrender. Keep talking until you have finished your speech, and if when in doubt, cut to the conclusion and then conclude and finish. All right, it's better to conclude and finish than to surrender or to just stand there and not know what to do. All right, if you get hung up and you're like, I don't know what to say next, take a breath, compose yourself, think about what was next, and then keep going. People respect you for trying. All right, so that's how you prepare a speech. Those are the 6 steps to preparing your speech. The next question is, how is impromptu judged? Well, there are 3 really big factors in judging impromptu. The first is organization. Did you have an introduction and conclusion? Did you have 3 main points? Do you know what a speech format is? This is like rule number 1. Second, substance. Do you have a good thesis statement? Does it relate to the quote? Did you understand and interpret the quote correctly? Do you have subpoints for your main points? Third, delivery. A huge part of impromptu is about confidence, about the ability to stand up and give a speech and look like it's prepared even though it's not. So make sure that you look your audience in the eyes, use lots of eye contact, make sure that you speak strong, right? That you have some energy and enthusiasm and that you don't look scared. And if you can't do those things, well, you should probably be in persuasion or informative speaking because you're not going to do very well. It's going to be a rough and hard day. All right. But if you want to try, get up there and try. Give it 110%. And, if it doesn't work, but you gave it 110%, then nobody faults you. I mean, we can't be successful if we're not willing to try. All right. So now it's time to practice. And I'm going to put a quote up for you. I'm actually going to put 3 quotes up for you. They're all movie quotes because the odds are pretty decent that you will have movie quotes at this tournament because it's rookie tournament, so we use a lot of movie quotes. All right. So what you're going to do is once I put the 3 movie quotes up, you're then going to get 2 minutes to prepare. And I'm actually going to use a little timer, so I'm going to set it for 2 minutes. All right, so you should take out your impromptu outline and you should get prepared to actually do this. All right, ready? Here are the quotes. 2 minutes, go. "90 seconds left. So you should have already picked a quote, written a thesis sentence by now, and you should be picking main points at the very latest. Remember, you can always use past, present, future, problem, cause, solution. You can use topical, which is 3 relevant points to whatever your topic is. You can use spatial, right? So you can pick 3 different geographies. Pick one. All right, 1 minute of prep time remaining, which means that you should, at this point, have a thesis sentence that is related to your quote. You should have 3 main points. You should be working on subpoints for your main points. So remember, those can be anything that you know from politics or science or TV shows or music. All of those things make for good subpoints. Prove that your main points are true. 30 seconds remaining. Now you absolutely have to come up with an attention getter. Are you going to ask a rhetorical question? Are you going to tell a short story about your personal life or about somebody you know's life? Are you going to tell a celebrity story? Are you going to use a TV show or a book you read? Books make you look so smart. It means you read. Yay! 10 seconds. All right, at this point, your time to prep is over. So if you haven't finished some parts of the speech, that doesn't matter. Now you have to stand up, all right? You have to stand up. It's time to speak. So 5 minutes to speak, and I'm going to let you know when you've used each minute. And you should prepare for your judge to say, 1 minute remaining, 2 minutes remaining, etc. All right, ready? 5 minutes. You need to speak for at least 3 of them. Go. One minute used, 4 remaining. 2 minutes used, 3 remaining. Three minutes used, 2 remaining. All right, this is the minimum time. If you've already stopped speaking, you either need to practice it until you get to 3 minutes, or you need to change into persuasion or informative. Hopefully you're still speaking. Four minutes used, 1 minute remaining. All right, if you're not even on your third main point yet, you're too long-winded. All right, you don't have a lot of time. You should at least be on your third main point and getting ready to conclude. "30 seconds left. All right, time to conclude. Conclude, conclude, conclude." "10 seconds. Time. All right, that was 5-minute speech. So that ought to give you some idea whether or not you can do this impromptu stuff now. All right, so if you went all 5 minutes, brilliant. Well done. This is going to be the event for you. And if you couldn't even make it 3 minutes, consider doing persuasion or informative and let me know. All right, see you at the tournament.